right. Tagazani tribe. You know, every Thursday I get so excited coming into this platform. Mkhulu, Nami coming to share some of our understanding, some of our experiences, some of our encounters, some of the things that we also finding and navigating our way around. And tonight, yes, I was talking to Mkulu about how I framed the topic, and he was saying, Guti, what he meant, because it came from him towards an end of our first stream together. Remember, today it is our third one. Yeah, it's our third one. So we started 3 weeks ago, so today it's our third one. So for those who are new, of course, I'm Gogo Dineo, and of course, he's Mkhulu, and of course, he's my husband.
Sanibonani babukeli or ngithi balaleli, thokozani nonke emakhaya. Siyabonga ukuthi nibe nathi, siyabonga ukuthi nisijoine ukuthi sizokwazi ukuthi sicacise noma sichaze okunye futhi sifundisane, sizokwazi futhi nokuphendula imibuzo ebakhona, nokucacisa okunye mhlawumbe ukuhamba kube izinto ezisixhopha emehlweni ukuthi ke sikwazi ukuthi okunye sikucacise. Into esithanda futhi ukuyicacisa ukuthi okuningi sikhuluma ngoba kuyizinto esindlule kuzo, sikhuluma ngeimpilo zethu, sikhuluma ngalokho esike-experience-ile, and sikhuluma okunye ukuthi yebo la sibuya khona lokho esikufundisiwe abantu abadala, uyabo. And abanye mebefuna the specifications, mhlawumbe abanye kufanele uzuhambe uyothola incazelo yasekhaya ukuthi yebo mesenza kanje ngabe kuyavumeleka yini. Asizange ukuthi sizolahla isizwe noma sithi lahlani lokho enikwaziyo, kodwa sithi asengezele la sekahambe kwatshalwa khona.
Yes. Thank you, baby. I told you. Good, when he speaks Zulu, I just go. I just get charmed. And you know, thank you, tribe members, because I know with for some of us Zulu is not our first language, neither is it mine. But being in a relationship with Mkhatshwa and where he grew up in Alex is called KZN. It's called the mini KZN because it's next to a men's hostel, and we know that during apartheid a lot of men who stayed in the hostels were from KZN. So yeah, so you know, people used to say it's a mini KZN, and in the mini KZN I learned how to speak fluent Zulu, and at the time I also became a storyteller. So, and they wanted me to do storytelling in vernacular. So I did it Gasipedi Sareshu, and I did it in Zulu, which I learned fluently from Mkhulu. But my dad and I also speak Zulu. So we normally use Zulu, but less as Julie, the Utmeg is Kuluma. Ndase uzongathi vele ngibuya ngase KZN ngoba ngesisikhathi phela bese ngiqala ngikhuluma thi hayibo gogo kanti kahle kahle wena uDineo wakandlanzi kwenze njani Dineo Ndlanzi ubuya ngakuphi ngithi cha ekhaya kuseLimpopo. And he still teaches me even today. He was teaching me the difference between not saying usekhona ukhoslo isekhona ikhoslo, right?
The personification when you say you are personifying.
So when you say as Zulu, you're personifying it, you know. So ngiyabonga, and thank you so much, because this is also a platform where Sibuyisela Masiko way to Labuya Corner, and it's also where Mkhulu, the people that he works with, could be Zulu. So this is your opportunity to learn Zulu as well. But as you know, Guti, I do summarize the conversations that we have with him, especially his input. And it's not like Mkhulu cannot express himself in English. It's just that when he teaches, then the best way to teach, especially around issues of culture and spirituality, they are better articulated for him through isiZulu. And it's your opportunity. So take out your pens and papers, because you're not only about to learn about the importance of ukukotisa. Somebody note this topic down. The importance of ukukotisa and the role yabakhongi, yabomakoti, nabakhwenyana. Because before kuba umakoti, uMkhwenyana kuba khona abakhongi angisho.
Yeah.
And Mkhulu will explain what those is. So the importance of ukukotisa and the role of abakhongi, uMakoti, am I saying right? uMakoti. uMakoti nabakhwenyana. Did I say it right? See, my Zulu is good. Yeah, no, you taught me a lot of Zulu because even when the role I played on Rhythm C to Mkhulu Mkhanya, I was supposed to be a Zulu healer and bengiskhuluma nje no auntie wathi hi bo makoti kanti ususazi kanje isiZulu ngathi usincelile. It's auntie, thank you. So even going to KZN ngoba uMakoti ngiyokotisa eKZN kukhulunywa isiZulu kwaMageba abasikhulumi kwesikaMageba. And because I also learned because in my past life as a corporate person, I used to be a facilitator. And when you come to KZN, what I'm facilitating for government, what I'm facilitating for civil society, what I'm facilitating for corporate, isiZulu that's how facilitation or workshops would be run. So I had to learn also that my accent and my diction and my eloquency and my articulation of isiZulu is really sound, because that's how I got the job. Because in Sebenzini I was the only person who can speak isiZulu fluently. It was difficult, especially interpreting technical terms, but hey, let's pin the topic. Wow, the role of abakhongi, makoti, abakhwenyana, right? Uthixo, baby.
Siyabonga kakhulu.
So yeah, I had to learn, and because also Mkhhatshwa, aka KZN, mini KZN in Alex, and uMkhulu yazi sikhuluma ngayo. Kukhulunywa isiZulu kuphela. Right now it's more diverse, ne baby.
Yeah. Diverse.
Yeah, but when we first started to date, which was
years ago.
Yeah, 17, 18 years ago, they mostly spoke isiZulu, so I had to up my game. Yes, isiZulu. You know what I'm remembering? I'm remembering a story. Let me share a quick funny story. So, a quick funny story. Mkhulu and I are dating. I think we're a couple of months into the relationship. So I'm visiting him. So his mother's house was a few houses away from his room, because he stayed in a one-roomed house. So I was visiting there. So the loo I needed to go to, because in Alex you share a yacht, you share toilets. So I had to, there was one down there, but the nicer, cleaner one was next to his mother's house. So I go up, Lapia, I go into the loo. His brother spots me and say, "Ha, usiphi unentombi." So tells the family to usiphi unentombi. So now everybody's like, "Iphi intombi kaSiphiwe, because that's Mkhulu Mkhashwa's name. And then eventually, because bekangilindile ngaphandle, so then we go into the house. Messingena in the house. Oh my God, remember I used to tell you that I was a born-again Christian, and we know born-agains and speaking English all the time. Twanging, it's a thing as well. I don't know if that's supposed to make us be more Christ-like or be more learned, or I don't know what was the English nabazalwane. But anyway, so I get in and kukhulunywa isiZulu, right, in the house. So bonke bakhuluma uMakoti. So, and what I loved about the late Aunt Manning, I remember making figure out how when uzwana no spill and what Mkhulu Mkhashwa upu X yabo what upu umuntu so, and then luckily Mkhulu already informed the mother ukuthi they've broken off with the girl, and he was dating somebody else. So umamezala wam jumped in to say hayi bahlukana, and umamncane wakhe in front of me said, "Wesphiwe, I hope ukuthi Dineo is the last one, because asifuna omunye umakoti ngeke ulokhu introduce kubantu abangapheli." So for me, that was really exciting to know ukuthi they don't even know me, but just umamncane saying ukuthi you cannot be. So I knew ukuthi okay, kushuthi akunaThepiso, Dineo, Palisa, Grace, Dorothy, Rosemary coming in. But the fun part is this. So ngilapaya and I'm wearing glasses, because I used to wear eyeglasses, and we know in the township when you're wearing glasses already you're a snob. So ngilokho ngizibambe kahle nje. Luckily bengifaka iskirt vele because I used to be a Rastafarian look, dreadlocks and skirt. So then his cousin comes, Umusa. Asking him, yo girl. Asking him, wow girl, did you hear D? What you doing here? Oh my God, Musa, do you really have to spoil my moment of looking like a suitable makoti? Okhuluma isiZulu, ofaka iskirt, ofaka iduku, ohloniphayo. Now you have to make me speak English. It's hi, Musa. Musa says, oh yeah, you still go to church? I'm like, Musa, angisaye esontweni. Angisengiphumile esontweni. Oh wow, I haven't seen you in a while. I'm trying ukhuluma isiZulu. Musa is insisting ukuthi ngikhuluma isiNgisi. Remember, it was such an awkward moment. And Bella, when I got to Spiro's family's home, yo baby, like isiZulu salapaya, it was like I've never heard of those Zulu words before. Akuthiwa mqombothi, kuthiwa mqombothi, akuthiwa manqoba, kuthiwa manqoba. Ngisho manje sithi manqoba. It's not manqoba, it's manqoba. Worse when we went to KZN. Which brings me to the topic of today again. Ukotisa. And Mkhulu said the last time, Ukotisa, you actually doing it for the ancestors. And yeah, like when I go to KZN, ngiyakotisa. And kukhulunywa isiZulu eKZN. Akukhulunywa i-mix masala ehlangane nesuthu.
Bale siyaphucuka manje. Siyaphucuka zihamba ziyaguquka izinto ziyashintsha. Ngaphandle kokuchitha isikhathi ngizangena kuyo itopic yethu yakatsheni.
But I see the flowers.
Siyabonga Mkhulu ukuthi usibekele nawo ama-flower. You've saved me kwilona siyabonga. Ungiyazi Mkhulu ulalele la khona.
Yeah, ulalele noma sekhaya siyabonga.
Ukungena kwilona uqala ukukotiza. Ukukotiza kahle kahle kuyinto ebalekile. Why is it important ukukotiza? Because you are now being introduced into this new family, into the dynamics zakhona, into everything that is happening yasekhaya ngaleso sikhathi. And kubalekile ukuthi ukotize because this is where now, okay, aqali lapho, but this is where uintroduce umuntu ukuthi ngelinye ilanga uyoba ugogo wala ekhaya oyohambe akwazi ukuthi aphahlele abantwana bala ekhaya. And this is the difference. Not everybody gets to get that title yokuphahla emzini uma esekhulile. Nakho okokuqala ukwenzelwa izinto ngokuphelele emzini kubalekile. Ngoba kukunika igunya lokuthi ukwazi ukuthi wenze ezinye izinto phakathi ekhaya. Ngokuthina awukwazi ukuyophahlela ingane yala ekhaya emsamo wena ungakwenzelwanga izinto zakho ngokugcwele. Yingakho kubalekile ukuthi izinto zesintu zenziwe ngokugcwele ukuze nakusasa ukwazi ukukunika ilungelo lokwenza izinto la ekhaya. Nakho ke okubalekile ke njengoba ngikhuluma ngako uMakoti ukuthi leyo kuqala, then okwesibili ukuthi mawuyokotiza njengoba you are being introduced to abantu abadala la ekhaya, then into ekulekelela mekuthiwa vuka ekseni uyoshanela ibali, vuka ekseni wenza itiye, vuka ekseni ubase umlilo la ekhaya. Those things, they assist, because when you wake up in the morning and you start sweeping the yard and all that, khumbula kuye kwaba nabomakoti ababekhona la ekhaya asebadlula abawogogo. Then when you start doing that, they also rejoice to say, wow, I usually used to love sweeping the yard. Now there's uMakoti who's doing that. Who is that? Let me go and bless that child. And then now you gain their favor. Kunomkhulu mhlawumbe la ekhaya wayethanda itiye, wena mawuvuka ekseni ubenzele itiye abantu bala ekhaya. Lo mkhulu ngoba kwakuyi umuntu owayevuka ekseni njalo ephuza itiye yenzelwe itiye. Bese kathola leli itiye lenziwe ekseni. Yizo izinto ezibajabulisayo owayethanda umlilo and all that, because this is where now you getting the family history. Moyokotiza ukuthi la ekhaya senza izinto kanje ngoba umkhulu noma ugogo wayethanda ukuthi kukanje. You are getting now the family history ukuthi oh kahle kahle lezi zinto zenziwa kanje isizathu kuyilokho. Yebo, and once you get that favor as uMakoti, mekuqala kuhamba kuba nzima emshadweni noma kuba nzima kwi-relationship, yibo abantu labo abadala abamadlozi abayokulwela ukuthi ungaphumi emshadweni.
Yeah.
Ithi ngiyiphinde.
Please.
Yibo labo bantu owawubakotizela abayokulwela ukuthi ungaphumi emshadweni nokuthi kungadlalwa ngawe. Yabo. Then ngizoza nakhona ukuthi imoshe kaphi lento yokukotiza ngoba ngiyazi ukuthi babangada aliwe utlwisitse taba ya ukotiza bomakoti uri nake ka sidule nake ka sietseng a re fetsa o nyala ke a tsamaya ke ma uyayibona. And I understand and I sympathize nani bosisi but kakhulukazi into imosheka la kunabo mama ezala abathi mebekotiza and they were ill treated.
Yes.
Because laba bekotiza khona they didn't understand what was the reason yokukotiza, and now they are ill treating now our women because they also were ill treated and now they didn't understand why. Babacanga ukuthi mhlawumbe umuntu ukhisha umsilo or in but they didn't understand ukuthi you are not doing it for the living only but you are doing it for the ancestors. You are embracing the ancestors bala ekhaya. You are embracing idlozi lala ekhaya. Ukuthi we are being introduced ukuthi vuke ekseni kungakavuki umuntu la ekhaya kube umuntu oqala ukuyonyathela ebaleni ukuthi idlozi la ekhaya la ekhaya la lihambe khona kuhamba wena ukuthi idlozi la ekhaya melifika entatha kuza lithola wena emabaleni ngoba uzobe usuthelwe ngenyongo yala ekhaya lizokwazi ukuthi nangu umakoti akalele. Njengoba ngalele lo makoti siyajabula ukuthi sizokwazi nokuthi simhlebele ngoba zilele le imbungulu zala ekhaya. Yabo, mara abo mama abo sisi baka Mkhwenyana bathatha advantage ukuthi ngalelo langa usezofuna ukwashela nezinto angaziwashi. Usezofuna ukuphuza itiye naye angaliphuzi la ekhaya. Usezofuna ukutreat umntwana wabantu. Yiyo into eyenza ukuthi abantu bangafuni ukuyokotiza. Yizo lezo zinto because of we don't understand the importance, and that is why ubona abo sisi abatreata ingane zabantu they never get married because why bashawa idlozi lakubo ukuthi nina nadlala ngengane zabantu beziza la ekhaya. Uzoshada kanjani udlale ngengane zabantu ithonga lakho wena lisathukuthele ukuthi yebo waganga ngomntana abantu efike la ekhaya wena wamenzisa izinto ezingenziwa la ekhaya. Then those things again now is counter against one. That is why kufanele silungise bosisi nina eseniqala manje especially our generation yithe kufanele silungise ukuthi utreatwana njani nina enabantwana babafana one day bayoshada, and one day mebeshada fanele uwazi ukuthi uyakuthanda njengoma wakhe kodwa uyamthanda lo mfazi ngoba lo yamfazi uyongena la ekhaya njengoba nawe ungenile la ekhaya ungena njengomakoti kusho ukuthi wena naye anihlukanga ninto eyodwa. Then wenzani ke umumbhekela phansi, wenzani ke mengabe wena usuwe osumtreata kabuhlungu. Uyayibona lento le. Then awungafaki ingane yakho ebunzimeni ukuthi fanele ikhethe between umama nomakoti wayo. Umakoti iyamthanda ngesimo sobumakoti, umama iyamthanda ngesimo sobumama. Then bosisi bethu nina bamanje cela ukuthi akube yini enizwisisa kahle ukuthi lento ingashintsha ukukotiza nakho konke kube yinto ezokwamukeleka, into ezothandeka, but it starts with you now. Singa complain asithini abakudala bakwenzile, and now it's time ukuthi thina sihambe sishintshe izinto zethu, sihambe silungise ubuthina, silungise ubuntu bethu gore leka usane re ska kopana le mathata. Ngoba re kopana le mathata ka lebaka la gore le rona re ntse re persista re etsa dilo tse wrong. However, if we can change, we can change the perception yokuthi ukuba umakoti kuyinto enzima. And now abafazi bethu bastarte uku-understanda noku-enjoya ukuyokotiza and look forward to it and embrace the new family. And then coming ngindlulele kule yobumakoti.
Can I summarize, babe? That, I think that's powerful. That's like, that hit me hard. Because my own experience of kotisa, it was in Alex. The day, because when I network emzini kwaNdlanzi ngaphahlelwa ngathelwa ngenyongo, and then ubaba omncane explained to me ukuthi I have ukuthi ngikotise, and he said to me, and this is a question to the people who say what happens to the families that don't practice culture, or how do I start a fire in the middle of an estate, you know. Remember, everything is about the essence of things, and that's what Mkhulu has been sharing now. The essence of ukukotisa. So the how part can be modified, but it still needs to be done. And he said to me, I also understand you have to go to work and you can't stay here with us a long time. Our ancestors used to stay for months emzini bakotisa, because you were not only, it was not about the chores, right? It was also understanding the family dynamics, the family values and principles, and how one, because when you become umakoti, you don't become umakoti necessarily, you become a daughter. You have come into the family to add value. And I want Mkhulu to speak about, you know, the terms we were speaking about earlier on when we were reflecting on Nkoskazi, Ndlovukazi. Mkhulu will share that, because how he says it is so profound. And you are coming to add value. You are coming to expand. You are seen as a gift. So a gift that needs to be cherished. And that's the things that when I was being spoken to by umalume from the Ndlanzi family and uLentuzana, and said to me, you know, just wake up, just kutamadloza jabule. He said that. And sweep the yard. And I mean, the yard, yes, Alex, it means I'm sweeping everyone's yard. So I'm not only sweeping the part where the Ndlanzi homestead is, but Bagamkize, the next door neighbors, Bagasmanbani. And I now understand, I just had an epiphany moment, why everybody was so adamant that we should get back together. The neighbors, everybody who knew of us, because of that one thing, that I woke up in the morning and proudly, the favor I got, because even how we got back together, they said, Bagwandlanzi, but I need to come back. I need to come back. And of course at that time I was ready to come back. So already it was in my favor so much that even in the separation, they were in preparation of my coming back. Guba uMakoti, you know the dream they had, Guti, I have to cook. They dreamt I was cooking. And this is at the time we were separated. I was cooking a meal. Remember, when you are cooking, you are feasting, you are celebrating. But it means you are celebrating because something great has occurred. So that for me makes sense, and I'm like, I wanna go in your peg. Like I just wanna go and cook. Because what
lunch.
I still owe lunch, but because I also love cooking, they didn't ask me to go fetch water at the river, because people think it's about that. At the time we didn't have running taps, but to sweep the yard, City Abapants. Where is Abapants, babe?
Abaphansi angithi njengoba ichaza inkulumo ukuthi abaphansi.
They're on the ground.
On the ground.
They're on the ground. So you're clearing way for them to surface. You're clearing way for them to emerge. And in their emergence, they create a protection. And this is to women and men as well. The other thing, not that it stops your partner from acts of infidelity, but it protects you when Marcos, infidelity occurs. It protects you because they know you, they don't know the other person. The only daughter-in-law or the only daughter or son they know, it's you. So you already get a protection shield, and they are going to go to their child, their blood child, and say, hold up, you are not going to mess up with this child. Because that's why you'd find, even when people, my parents were separated when I was 2, they got back together when I was 18. And they were not married at the time, but clearly something happened in their relationship that propelled them to go back to each other, because there was a dlozi element into it. So when you have dlozi, you've got spirit. When you've got spirit, you've got the power of creator in your favor. So when you've got the power of creator in your favor, anything and everything is possible in a marriage.
Ngiqhubeke nayo topic before ngifika kunkosikazi nendlovukazi ukuthi kwisizwe sabantu abansundu we would see izinto zishiwo when we have indlovu and we have indlovu yendoda mara yesifazane kuthiwa indlovukazi. Ngiyabona, and in esizulwini sithi sinendlovukazi, indlovukazi, which means in the queen mother. Ngiyabo, and it's the queen mother. uMandlunkulu njalo, the queen mother, and then the queen indlovukazi, and then inkosikazi. Ngiyabo, and lezo zinto, the kazi is the plural form of it. And as it is the plural form of it, it means njengoba a plural form, it's bigger than the actual say inkosi, but it's inkosikazi, which means ngoba kuba inkosikazi ngoba kunje ngeseed. When umuntu sithi umuntu wesifazana ngoba unjengokuthi she's a carrier, carrier the seed of expanding leli khaya, ngoba umeza indoda iyawakha umuzi kodwa ubani okhulisa umuzi? Inkosikazi. Ngiyabo, kunenkosi kodwa kuzoba nenkosikazi ezokhulisa lo muzi wala ekhaya. Ngiyabo, ngokuthini uzozala ini izingane zala ekhaya, abazukulu bala ekhaya. Ngiyabo, then ingakho kuba nokuthini kuyakhuliswa isiqu somuntu wesifazane. Ngiyabo, and futhi into ekhona abantu ngesinye isikhathi abangayizwisisi, umuntu wesifazane ngokwesintu, not ngokwezulu, ngokwesintu sabantu abamnyama wayehlonishwa kakhulu. Umuntu obalekile, wawungeke nje kuyekelele nje or kubonakala umuntu wesifazane eshawe emgwaqweni and then kuthula. Wakusuka impi kakhulu. Umuntu wayengabulala ebulalela ukudeleleka kumkakhe.
Baby, repeat that, please.
Emandulo umuntu wayengakubulala ekubulalela ukudeleleka komkakhe. Ngoba umusudelele umkakhe, shothi usudelele isizwe sakubo sonke. Ugebo, that's how protected they were abantu besifazane. Unfortunately, kulesikhathi samanje sekuhambe kwaguquka kwashintsha izinto. Ngiyabo, and then sizoza kwisigaba manje sabakhongi before ngizongena kubo uMkhwenyana nelona. Isigaba sabakhongi, abakhongi kuabantu.
Before we get to abakhongi, Emily is asking for a translation because I think you said something powerful. So Mkhulu, what he's explaining is about the terms we use. So when you are a man or you are in a family setup, so they say Guti, a man is called a ingosi.
Ingosi is
yes, it's hard to. I get caught up in his teaching so much that when I have to translate Emily, sometimes it becomes. But the essence of what he said, is that a woman coming into the family is for the expansion, the growth, and the abundance of that family. So they've come because they're coming to add value. So hence we say unkosikazi, hence we say indlovukazi. It means is one who expands. So there can never be a growth in a household without the woman. And you need to also understand, emandulo, a king will never be ordained without a partner, a wife, right? And this is we using the gender stereotypes, but it's not about gender here. It's about two people coming in to add value into a family setup, to expand and grow each other, a unionship, because in unionship there is greatness that can be expanded. And Mkhulu also finally said that it is also to how we did it, not only in Zulu culture, but in all cultures. Women were revered to an extent that no woman would be violated or assaulted in public. It was never something that would be witnessed and pretended it didn't occur. So when we see femicide and we see GBV, it's not our culture to assault assault in Zalabantu, because we are violating a nation by violating a woman, right? That's what he said. Because when a woman gets violated, it's not an individual, but it's a whole nation that gets violated. Because that's why he said that, people would also be, one can die just by attacking or assaulting a woman. So what we're seeing now, we should understand that it's un-African. It's not us. It came with patriarchy. The whole concept of patriarchy was the oppression of the matriarch, because matriarchy, it's about building a nation, building togetherness, building a family system, whereas patriarchy, it's about control and domination by one person over the rest, whereas matriarchy was about the collective, hence the name umama abizwa in Zalabantu. And it's not about fertility, but it's about the essence of femininity, because femininity, it's about expansion. I think I've said it. Yeah.
Thokoza. Singene kubakhongi, siyabonga nkosikazi. Singene question yabakhongi. Abakhongi is those people that you ask, especially kuba bumalume, abomncane, abobaba, abomkhulu and all that, depending on who you have in your corner, who is available to go and assist you. But it's people that will go by ucelela ubuhlobo obuhle khabo nkosikazi or khabo nkosazana lo osucela ukuthi nakhe ubuhlobo obuhle nabakubo. Then yibo abakhongi laba abantu abayo, just nje in short, abantu abawukhiphela ilobolo. Yibo abantu esibabiza sithi abakhongi. Mesikhuluma ngabakhongi, then enye into ebalekile ngento yabakhongi, because abakhongi abantu ozoba nabo impilo yakho yonke, and it's abantu ukhetha abantu babakhongi noma ucelelwa ekhaya ngoba ngesidala wawungazikhetheli, kwakukhethwa obaba ibona babehlala ukuthi hayi usibani nosibani ibona bayohamba bayokhongela umfana, ngiyabo. And abantu abahamba babe yini, babe what's the word yesilungu, the mentors. They become mentors to you as a man, ukuthi njengoba sakukhongela, will be your mentor to see to it ukuthi your things go well, izinto zihamba kahle zonke. And in terms of umshado wakhe, just to go time and again and monitor and see what's going on, is everything still fine, yabo. And the importance yokukhethwa kwalabo bantu is people also who will hold you accountable wizinto ozenzayo, uyabona, and who will come and who will not be taking any sides. They'll always be neutral ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi bakhe, because the whole idea for bona ukwakha is not to take sides, uyabo. Kusho ukuthi nakhabo uMkhwenyana, it's very important nabantombazana ukuthi kubo abantu abayokhulumela mokuza abantu abazoxoxisana, because isikhathi sokushelana nakusho ukuthi imndeni isuka ishelana ngaleso sikhathi, ukukwenza kuba nobuciko bomlomo ukuthi ubani okwazi ukushela kahle, ubani okwazi ukushela intombi, ubani okwazi ukukhuluma, ubani okwazi ukuzimela. Kuyayibona lento le, and yiyo into okwakubonakala ngayo ukuthi ngabe abakabo uMkhwenyana bame kanjani, not only financially but also ngapha, uyabo, ukuthi mekukhulunywa bakwazi ukuteketisa izinto kanjani, bakwazi ukubeka izinto kanjani, ukuthi la yakhona ngabe lo mntwana uyohlaliseka kahle na. Ngiyayibona lento. Those are times ekwenzakala lezi zinto, and kubalekile because those impressions lezi esizinika abasebukhweni i-impression ezohlala forever, ukuthi ngelanga lamalobolo wengane yethu nakho kwenzeka. Ukuyayibona lento le, and into esizibona kulamalanga ukuthi abantu bayokhipha amalobolo, uthola umuntu ubhook drunk, udakiwe, That's misrepresentation. Okay, on the onset, it's like sikala on a failing platform. Okay, and the yes, as much as kungaphuzwa and all that, but asiphuze emva kokuthi sesikwenze konke okubalekile. Because mesihamba sisuke ekhaya ngithi sisuka nabantu abadala ukuthi sesibikile ukuthi siyocela ubuhlobo obuhle le. Mase sifika sesibathela ngehlazo ngoba nalabo bazosho ukuthi kuza abantu la ekhaya kusho ukuthi the conversation akusi conversation yabantu abaphilayo kuphela kodwa kuba nedlozi eliba khona la liba lizolalela lizozwisisa ukuthi kwenzakalani nalo. Ukuyayibona lento le. Then yikho ngisho ukuthi kubalekile ukuthi asiqale ngalokho kubalekile eqala, then if ever ke sesiyaphuza siphuze sesiqedile.
Yeah.
Ukuze kusasa singakhombani ngemini ukuthi hey kwenzakala kanje ubani waphoxeka wafika umalume yena esekhiphe esegqoka igqoko sekhiphe ini ngakuphi uyayibona lento le. Those things are very much important kakhulu.
Yeah. No, I think, and because you used a lot of English, I don't need to translate, but it's important because before you actually get introduced uthelwa ngenyongo wamkelwa in your in-laws, you first have to go through the lobola process. That the people that you choose to be part of your lobola negotiations, and I like it, we're not only negotiating money, because lobola is not about transaction. Transaction is the last part of the conversation, but we're determining compatibility between the two families. We are determining values and principles. Are they similar? Is there similar goals and aspirations? Because remember, you have chosen abakongi, those who are going to represent you at the negotiation table. And actually, as you were talking, baby, I was thinking, sniff sync blocking. I'm blocked by snuff, so I don't have a flu, I don't have anything, it's just, it's snuff. So when you look at Date My Family, for example, I think they took that concept and it's exciting. But you see people who never get to go on dates is because they were misrepresented by the members of the family that were there in conversation with the suitor, basically. So also, sometimes things go wrong during lobola, not because the two are wrong for each other, but the people don't even know the person that they're representing. So when questions get asked, or when conversations when conversations are held during the lobola negotiations, then conversations cannot be maintained to best represent those whom they are conversing on their behalf. And you know what? Why we say what we say? Because lobola negotiations don't begin when you have the two families come together. It begins between the two. We had a conversation first. We spoke as well, and we also spoke about the financial or the transactional aspect, because we were still young when we got married. We were in our early 20s, and you just started working, and he just started working. And I needed to also go to my family and said, but he just started working, so they cannot be asking for ridiculous amounts of money. Then we're gonna start our relationship in debt. And you're gonna have a partner who is frustrated because they are financially constrained or financially in debt. It's not a good way. Do you know that emandulo, when the lobola was, or the exchange of the lobola, part of the lobola is given back to the couple to go start off their new life. You'd be given the kettle to say go and begin your new life. The transaction was an element of giving gratitude after the negotiations, to say we are grateful, thank you so much, because we see that who we are bringing to our family, it's somebody who's coming to add value. It was not about, my daughter has 6 degrees, my daughter doesn't have this, my daughter is a virgin. Yes, they would be asked those questions because there were certain principles determined around those questions, but it was not so that the lobola money can be raised high. It's not about the money. The money came later, right? And apparently the money also came with colonizers when they wanted to standardize, because they felt it was unpleasant, because bathi umfazi akaqedwa ukulobola, you don't finish paying lobola. The reason being, there still has to be mentoring that happens. There still has to be monitoring, because we're a young couple who are inexperienced in marriage, because also back then you would not choose somebody who is not married to uMkhongi. Am I correct? Because they would only bring people who also come from, marriages. That's why even when you go uyoamkelwa uMkhwenyana or uyokamkelwa uMakoti, you would have elders who have walked the journey you are about to undertake, give you guidance.
That one is true. And being a point ebengifuna ukuyenzela ingibalekele mhlawumbe izaphinde ibuye.
No, it will come back. So we can speak about, please don't ask questions now. We're going to take questions in a minute. Do you want to speak about, we've spoken about the importance of ukukotisa, the importance of abakhongi, the importance of uMakoti, now the importance of abakhwenyana.
The roles.
Yes, or the role of uMkhwenyana.
The roles of I think my roles and Lorna, it's
roles
also
and responsibility.
It's also a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Why do I say that? In our relationship, it might be something. In your relationship, it might be something else.
Yeah.
And I think that one angeke ngene kakhulu kuye because of sizobe sifuna standardize izinto ezingekho standard. Ungabo abanye bangathi irole yendoda ukuletha imali endlini. Abanye come to differ with it. Ungabona ukuthi ke yes, what if angisebenzi but I'm able to do the chores, I'm able to do this, I'm able to take the kids to school, I'm able the roles as corner within a relationship is to strike a balance between the two. And it's to make sure where there is lag, I become a positive link to that. Okay, mengabe la uyahluleka, mina I try and ngenzeni ngistrike ibalance kulezo zinto lezo. Kakhulukazi nje for mina ama roles, it will be to strike a balance and to make sure we keep izinto in a healthiest form as we can, because of kukhona abobaba abagudi ngokupheka and they enjoy that. Then if ever we cannot say it's not their role. It is their role, because of now wonke umuntu ufuna ukudla at the end of the day. Kunabo mama abathanda ingadi ubaba mina ngamane ngiwasha izitsha kunokuthi ngiyobalona yebo, and it's just to strike the balance between the two. Then once we are able to strike a balance and let's take what works for us. And once we do what works for us, then ngeke sibe nenkinga, but mengabe ngibheke ukuthi ngoba kunezinto ezenzakalayo engeke sazibalekela, kuba nzima if for the first time uma wami uyafika uzovakasha kwami bese ngithole ngiwasha izitsha uMakoti ehleli phansi efunda ama WhatsApp or efunda iphepha or anything. Somehow mengena yena kuba ngathi kuyihlazo, because mhlambe usuke ngento kuyinto angayijwayelanga, ngiyayibona lento leyo. And then at times kuyofanele ukuthi siphinde si understand la esishadele khona o la esithathe khona. Kunezinye izinto ekufanele sizwisise ukuthi abomama nabobaba bethu baphuma from i-generation ehlukile kuneyethu, and kufanele uwazi ukuthi uthathwe kuphi, umthetho wakhona uthini. Ukabo ngokuthini kukhona abanye abobaba aba-strict ukuthi yebo ngakuvumela ukuthi mfana thatha okwakho angeke ngizingene, kodwa mina menifika la kwami kukanje. Ukayibona lento le, and mengize kwakho kuhamba fanele ngicela nami ukuthi ningiphathe ngale ndlela enjena. Ngiyabo, then kulezo zama roles and ama responsibility is just to always just try and strike a balance. and ukubambisana kakhulu and ukwenza ukuthi izinto zikwazi ukuthi zijele, because once sithi sizobeka ama rules amanye kuhamba kushintsha ngoba izinto eziningi sezahamba zashintsha ngoba yebo kudalo abobaba babehamba baye kuphi, abanye bayozingela, abanye bayolusa, abanye bayenzani, omama bahambe bayokwenzani, bayohlakula ini babuye kuphekwe, babuye nenyama obaba kupheki bese iyaphekwa kuyadliwa and all that. Impilo emandulo yayinjalo, yayimnandi njalo, kodwa sekwahamba kwashintsha khona manje kuyabo, kunabo mama uyi-CEO uyenzani, kodwa into ebakhona ebalekile futhi inhlonipho between the two. Enhlonipho ukuthi sisi noma ngabe la ukhona uyiboss, kunamadoda areporta kuwe agijime kuze kunqamuke inyawo, mara mawufika endlini fanele ulazi ukuthi wena iposition yakho ikuphi, isitulo sakho sikuphi, uyabo. And once ukwazi ukuhlonipha lo muntu okuthathile wayokwenza umfazi, okuningi kuzohamba kukukhanyela, because ekuhlonipheni yena uhlonipha abakubo, because awuvusi umuzi wakhe, uvuselela umuzi wakubo, umuzi wogogo nokhokho omkhulu bakubo. Then mawuhlonipha yena kusho ukuthi uhloniphe leli khehla elihambe lavuma ukuthi lo muntu akahamba yothatha umfazi kuwe namhlanje. Ngithemba ukuthi kuhamba kuyazwakala.
Yeah, and it makes sense. And I think, you know, baby, the role of uMkhwenyana emzini, it's also very important, because it's not about uMakoti uamukelayo, but even when uMkhwenyana goes emzini, you also get told when you get into that family that this is when you come to this family, this is how you show up. Because now you're a son. So the roles and responsibilities of the sons of that household also becomes your role. And for me, I like what you say, it's about the dance between the two. Because in each and every household, in order for life to be formed and for things to be in flow, there has to be one that takes the role of the feminine and the masculine. And that's not about gender.
Yes.
Because it's also about ability, competency, and interest in playing that role. Because we have tend to say the nurturing roles belong to the women and the provider roles belong to the men. Those roles are interchangeable, because, for example, you play a nurturing role every day in the morning. Every day in the morning, you wake up and you get Sia ready for school. You bath Sia for school, right? You make sure that. But I that's a nurturing role. But I also go and I buy the groceries, because I like to buy groceries. I like to go, and people will say, yeah, but women like shopping. But remember, it's the men who back then would used to hunt for the meat. But I do like going and well, I don't like it anymore. But I used to like going to buy things. But then you don't like to prepare sandwiches, because yeah. Then let's just leave it at there with Mkhulu and cooking. Right? But it's about making sure that the needs of the family are met. Right? It's making sure the needs. He picks up the kids all the time. He takes the kids every day, every morning, while I am sleeping. And somebody might be like, what? Your wife is sleeping and you are here. So remember, the roles that we see right now also come from the system of patriarchy, which has divided families than united families, because it's the man, the woman, and the children. But in African culture, it's the father, the mother, the children, back to the father. It's a circle. It's about a co-creation. It's about making sure there is flow, because what goes around comes around. Because one day, your children, you will need them to do things. Hey, see who's here, baby? Can you see?
Yeah.
Our son is here, guys.
And megakhuluma Gogo, kuna something that is coming to me. Ukuthi, you know, izinto ezenzakalayo, it's amazing ukuthi abantu abahamba bafike babheka impilo yethu ukuthi njani, babuya, and then bashintsha the family systems and all that. Abafazi babantu babelungu, abafazi abangasebenzi,
stay at home moms,
bahlale ekhaya, babheke ikhaya, babheka abantwana, and sometimes they homeschool their kids.
Yeah.
Abantu besifazane, and then cook or u-anti uzopheka amadoda khona adla ukudla okuphekiwe njalo emakhaya. Bese babuye bazotshela abafazi bethu ukuthi fanele baye emsebenzini baba amabhosi, bese babuye bezoshaya umthetho emzini. Where else the same people bona baphila impilo leyayiphilwa ogogo nokhokho omkhulu. Kusho ukuthi kunala sihamba siqhopheka khona, la sihamba siqhoshwa khona kungenaqiniso ey'ntweni ezenzakalayo, ukuthi asibheke nanoma sithi sithanda izinto, sithatha izinto, ukuthi sithatha ini ngabe yosebenzela na kusasa, because kunezinto eziningi ezibukeka zizinhle kodwa akusimpilo, because bona bahamba bonga uyibhekisise kahle izinto ezenzakalayo. Thina abomama, yes, because of impilo esiphila kuyo bayahamba bayasebenza, and then now if ever uzobuya athi ngoba yena uyasebenza kapheki akudliwa kushuthi la ekhaya, abantwana bazodlana, kuzokwenzakalani la ekhaya. Ukuyayibona lento le, then kufanele sihambe futhi sibheke ukuthi yini into la ekhaya esiyithandayo. And also we can create ukuthi okay, mhlambe let's say on a Friday it's takeouts, because every sikhathele. Okay, we having takeouts, and then we plan ukuthi okay, ezinye zezinto sizenza kanjani as a family, so that we can strike that balance, because balance it's very important empilweni zethu. Yabo, and then see ukuthi singakwazi ukwenza lokhu nokwenza lokhu nalokhu nalokhu. But yebo, for mina le ndaba ye take out njalo hayi iyangilimaza, kodwa angisumuntu ofasi in a way ukuthi ngizofuna ukudla okuphekiwe on a daily basis. I understand. I can tolerate it for a week. Sikulona ngingadli sinkwa ngidla amaqanda as long as kwenziwe isandla saka mama, noma ngabe behambe kwalandwa ngaphandle angiphakela angifakele eplateini, mina ngijabulela lokho kulethwa eplateini lami. Yabo, and yebo, impilo is not about isapha kuphela.
Yeah, but you also like making your own food, because sometimes I would feel like, oh my God, I have to go. And he's like, no, I want to make my own food, right? And for me, it brings me alive to cook, right? I don't want to be busy working at the garden. No, I don't like mechanical work. I don't like the garden. I don't like, so those things can be interchangeable between the two people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we also understand, Utiamo, our daughter, can never be anywhere where we are slaughtering goats, but she likes cleaning up, and it's not because she's a girl and Musiso it's a boy. It's also about cultivating interest and what person is drawn at. I know how to slaughter a goat, but I don't want to slaughter goats. It's just too much mechanical, technical work that doesn't interest me, but he enjoys it. A goat is done in 15 minutes. Musiso, our son, does a goat in 15 minutes, and he enjoys it, and he can slaughter 5 goats during a ceremony, whereas Utiamo, and it's because we have made things into black and white, and they are not. Because if you listen to us and how we say we do things, because he's the one who wakes up in the morning to get the kids ready for school and drops them off every morning at school, but when they come back, I don't mind checking and seeing, do you have homework, reading the emails at school. So you in your relationship, because life is created by masculine and feminine energy, masculine being the protector, the structure, the guider, mother being the nurturer, the carer, so that has to exist in your relationship. And if that exists, then life gets created. So that's what we are saying here. Do not go on mundane roles, because there are things called role exhaustion. Sometimes I like to take the lead. I like being in control, and it's okay. But sometimes I don't want to take the lead. So we have to speak, and I'm like, no, I don't want to take the lead. Like anything that has to do with a car, and even now I'm like, no, please sort it out. And it's not about sort it out because you're a man. Sort it out because this is something you have an interest. But we need to also know that because you've got testosterone, there are things you'll have a natural inclination in because you're a man. Because you've got estrogen as a woman, there are things that you'll have, because estrogen levels offers natural.
Yeah.
Right? Sepo says that's true. Mkhulu is the master of slaughtering too much, and he can drum as well, and drum requires physical energy and endurance, and because of Musiso's testosterone, he can play the drums for a longer time. Mkhulu can. So we need to understand those things. When our family systems were created as Africans, they understood that the dance and the balance between, we needed harmony more than balance, because balance also sometimes things have to be equal. No, it's things have to be in harmony. So let's take your questions.
Yeah, ngibona omunye akhuluma in terms of irole kubantu besilisa ukuthi sesihamba saluza ngoba singabantu besilisa kakhulukazi. I think into enkulu is ukuvikela protecting imindeni yethu.
Yeah, no, I'm just taking questions, so
Wow.
yeah,
irole kukuvikela, yebo ukuvikela in so many ways.
yeah,
Ngiyabo kungaba khona ukuthi vikela umkakho kwabakini. Those are some of the things, and I think leyo abaningi siyenzile, nami ngiyenzile iphutha lelo lokuthi ngesinye isikhathi we do not protect, not in a physical form, uyabona, not ukuthi ngiyalwa in kanjani, uyabo. Now sometimes when izinto ziqala zikhulunywa ekhaya and uzwe ukuthi cha le angizwani nayo, le akulona iqiniso, le angihambiselani nayo, phakama ummele umprotecte, so that once kwenziwa uwe the first time oqala aba ne comment ephuma endleleni, mvikele umkakho, so that bazobona ukuthi lo muntu, what does this person mean to you.
yeah,
Because the longer you wait to start protecting them, it's the more bazokwenzana ekhaya, bazomthatha kancane and bazomisa, bazomdelela, because they won't see the importance yakhe kuwe. Then kubalekile ukuthi sibavigele from abo sis bethu,
yes,
from abo mama bethu, from abo bhuti bethu, from abo malume bethu, ukuze kungaze kusase kukhale wena ukuthi how so akasafuna ukuya ekhaya, yini indaba, kanti iqale ngawe ukuthi azange ube neqiniso lokuthi ummele umvikele. Then mesingakwazi ukuthi sibavikele kulelo point leyo, ukuthi nanoma kuma wakho usho ukuthi ma ngiyakuthanda impela, ngiyakuzwisisa konke okushayo, kodwa lo muntu okhuluma ngaye umngami, and ngiyacela ukuthi ungalingi uyikhulume nabo dade bethu lento lena, ngoba manje izohamba iyenzani, ihlisa lenyatso.
yeah,
bayibeka kamnandi amasuthi bari khalimela lenyatso mkhwenyane komamazala.
yeah,
Mengithi mama ngisho uma wakho, ayi umatswali lo wangani, lo wakho ozala wena uqobo nasemndeni wakho, once singakwazi. And the same happens ngani uMakoti, please nani, once umuntu wakho ungamkhuluma kabi nabakini, that's when baluza irespect ngaye, because uyifona ukwazi ukumkhuluma kabi kusho ukuthi uyilento. Once uzothi bathi bayakhuluma ukuthi ningangitshela ngaloyo useless, hayi okay, wayithi isidina sewuyo uzoba isidina kuwo wonke umuntu, because of uwe obafundisile ukuthi fanele bamtreat kanjani umuntu wakho. Noma usufuna ukuthi bamhloniphe, kuyoba nzima ukuthi bamhloniphe, because wakhipha ngomlomo wakho. Khumbula lokho ukukhuluma ngomlomo wakho you are creating. Awungaqalekisi ngomlomo wakho into oyithandayo, because manje loyo uyisidina, uyoba isidina nasebantwini laba ohlala nabo, because that's what you said with your mouth. Then asivigelaneni from imindeni yethu ukuze izokwazi ukuthi ihloniphe ipartner yakho imindeni yakini.
yeah.
My question.
Uthembi is asking an important question. Ukukotisa, is it applicable when you are engaged? Itsini it's confusing because some families expect it. Well, it would be confusing because it normally happens after usulayiwe, usungenile emzini, wathelwa ngenyongo. That's how it would be done, because then when you wake up in the morning, abadala bazothi, who's this one manje? Who's coming here? You know, if Temi, you've been listening to the past 3 weeks we've been teaching, I was introduced to Mkhulu's family before even the lobola. So meaning every time I went Gabu Mkhulu, I would do certain things, and I didn't do them because now the uMakoti duties we also need to learn to do because we love it. We love nurturing and we love caring, and I mean, like we're saying, the other thing actually I hate is to iron.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
And I love it.
And he loves it, and he irons, folding clothes, and packing.
That's
and
me.
That's him, right? But he doesn't like washing dishes.
No.
He doesn't like washing dishes.
The thing is like Gogo, uMkhotiza, bantu benkosi besithi abantu bakotiza mekushadwa ngoba kakhulukazi you would find ukuthi siseJoburg imindeni saboma Eastern Cape and isekuphi KZN iseLesotho njani, then we'll only find the time ukufika khona ngalezo ikhathi mhlambe mekushadwa mekiswe uMakoti, they will get there. That will be sometimes the first time that they see this Makoti, yabo. And now we understand ukuthi kukhona abantu bahlala bebonke baseGoli, yabo, bahlala bebonke baseGoli. Mengabe ningakashadi kusakhishwe angithi khumbulana ezinye izinto abo fiance abo ma
engagement, guys, yabona
izinto zesilungu, ukayebo, and izinto zesilungu ukuthi mawukhuluma ngeengagement, we also need to distinguish ukuthi ni engagile mara nikhiphile ilobolo noma nikakhiphi ilobolo risisa, ukayibona lento le. Ezinye izinto zihambe zisixake ngesimo sesintu, kodwa ngizozama ukuthi ngiuphendule lo mbuzo wakho as best as I can Gogo. Ngoba sila akuchazi ukuthi ngoba wena siseGoli awukakashadwa ukuthi usuzongena udelele emzini yabantu, because remember that is also a way of introducing yourself to the family, how you carry yourself at this moment before you even have the opportunity to be given imithetho yalapha ekhaya. But kufanele wena ubonise ukuthi la ubuya khona umthetho wakhona unjani, because remember mawuza emzini womuntu ingane yentombazane ezalwa somewhere, you are saying to them who you are, you are representing ikhaya lakini. Yingakho bathi hey yabona umuzi wakho lengane ubolile, because why babone lo mntwana, you are a representation of your parents, ukayebo. Noma bathi yo yazini kunomthetho ke la lengane la ibuya khona, because of babone wena ukuthi uziphethe kanjani. And yiyo futhi enye into that also gives the dignity to your parents or your family mase kuhanjwa kuyokwenzwani kuyokhishwa ilobolo, because of they've seen you how you've carried yourself like haya mawuzile, ukayibona lento le. And ngendlela esibheka ngayo izinto nangendlela esiziphatha ngayo indlela etshela abantu ukuthi kufanele basiphathe kanjani.
Yeah, and let's stop being excited about engagements, but there's not been a lobola, because lobola already the families are coming together. There's a formality there, and in that formality there's a recognition of who you are in that person's life. So you'll be excited. I wonder, I'm somebody else's fiance. But the family doesn't know. We know how many people get engaged. And then you find out that person
but is... There's also not burst the bubble of the excitement alone. and also enye into ekhona ukuthi inhlonipho enkulu noma the appreciation enkulu ukuyocela abazali bengane ubuhlobo for ingane yabo, kubona le nto into ebalekile. And yes, the engagement and all these other things ezikhona ezinja is it's to excite your partner, bayibiza ngani,
to entice.
Yes, is to entice ukwenza ipartner yakho yazi okay thingayi ngizongena kulo bathini.
Yeah, what's my engagement ring?
Yeah, when ushadile ngena yazi mara So uthathela leya sisi yona.
I'm kidding, baby. So uti Gogo, but there is a thing in isiZulu about when you the intention to lobola or to marry somebody. What is it called? What's that thing? Yeah, there is a way which we engage as well, Ngesintu. Okay, so uti la DJ in a homosexual relationship, who pays for the lobola? Is it necessary that they do it? Remember, it's not about transaction. We did say it, DJ, and which transaction is the last. It is important to have the lobola process because it's about the coming together of the two families. It's about building families. And when it comes to the lobola of who pays for what, it's not about who identifies, because we understand that homosexuality is diverse, because people don't, some relationship, nobody homosexual, baby, we can't assume Guti homosexual is just gay and lesbian, because they could be queer, they could be asexual, they can be pansexual, they could be transgender, they could be all sorts of things. Right? Yes.
Okay. All right.
Because homosexuality has expanded in its term. It's vast now.
I'm terms are as confusing. Yebo, Thokoza, Gogo. In terms of kwizinto ezinjalo, I think okunye okubalekile angithi nina nisuke nazi ukuthi sikwisimo esinjani. We know how to classify our own relationships, because thina singaphandle siyabona kodwa asazi ukuthi ni classify kanjani relationship yenu, uyabona ubani uyini kubani, uyabo, ngoba kufana mina ngingathi cha mhlambe loyana uyini kodwa at the end of the day inina enazi ukuthi kwenzakalani. And sometimes even noma kungakhishwanga ilobolo or kukanjani kuthi ubani message, okay, because kukanje asithi thina siyohlanganisa ubuhlobo ukuthi asihambe mhlambe siyokhunga amadlozi, ukuyibona lento le, siyokhunga amadlozi ukuthi sithi nakho esikulethayo ngoba sizocela ubuhlobo obuhle, and nathi abanye silethe lokhu ngapha ukuthi siyocela ubuhlobo obuhle, ukuthi akuhlangane lamadlozi ngoba isimo sobudlelwane bethu asifani nesimo esijwayelekile.
Yes.
Ukuyibona lento le. Then ke yilapho ke kuthi ke kuzokwenzwa ngendlela that also will work for you guys and nelona nabantu abadala, uyabona. Kodwa ngicabanga ukuthi ukukhunga kuyoba yinto engcono kunokuthi sithi nango kufanele kuyolona, kanti at this moment we relationship yenu nango kufanele ayenze kanjalo. And okunye mina kuyangishaya ke ngoba bathe kukuningi and kuhamba kungixhopha, kodwa engakubonisa ngakho ukuthi ukukhanyiselana ukuthi kuyokhunga ngapha kukhungwe nangapha for both sides, and then kuba yilona.
It differs. I think it differs. I think you put it very, very well. It's important because then already you are classifying your relationship as irrelevant, because remember, this is not just about the living, it's about the ancestors. So whatever nature of your relationship is, we know that we've had couples we work with where the other one says, no, I want to pay the lobola for my wife. Even we call each other wives, but I see myself in this relationship taking more of the man role. So I will go pay the lobola. So, ukukukona, mama. Thokoza ma. It's nice to have family come and join the life. So, what is important is that you need to understand, which we encourage this, because I saw this question earlier on. Somebody says, Gogo and Mkhulu, do you offer marriage counseling? We do. You're right. Because I also say to Aman, before you get married, please consult to check compatibility. Because when you are marrying into that family, you are not marrying just uspiwe. You marry spiwe and izinto zakubo, the blessings and also the burdens that come with those blessings. Because each and every one of us carry a blessing and a shadow. So that you know what you're getting yourself into. So that some of us get married, there is things that when we become married, we actually trigger and evoke things, and things don't work in our relationship, and we think, it's about the two of us. It's not just about the two of us. There might be things that needs to be fixed. You might be finding yourself that I'm trying to marry my wife, but I can't. Something always goes wrong because there are things that your father didn't do right by your mother. So please go for a consultation when your intentions are to commit to each other, and check how things are. And yes, we do offer. So even DJ, we do offer couples counseling, especially for people who are trying to find a way to navigate around their African culture in the midst of the modern world, and the dynamics that comes with the modern world, and the dynamics that comes with what we need to be, that we are becoming now, because we live in these times, whether one is Christian, whether one is white, one is black, one is Indian, one is black, and they don't know how to do things culturally. Mkhulu and I do sit down with couples and offer those counseling sessions, and we even check them out closely when we do things. Some people will say, what happens when the family doesn't want the lobola? Remember, with a couple and said, no, they are religious, they don't want the lobola. And we said, when they don't want the lobola, honor an elder in the family. Go and honor and start, because they've had the conversation, because those things are very important.
And kwezinye izinto, it's not awupendi wonke umuntu ngebrush eliyi-one. Abanye abantu izinto zabo ziba unique, uyabo, ukuthi kufanele zenziwe ngalento zenziwe, as much as sisazi ukuthi imithetho noma imigomo iba kanje, abanye abantu iba unique. I think indaba yokuhlola consulta umama akhuluma ngayo, ukuthi uyo-check-a izinto ukuthi zikanjani, ukuthi nikwazi ukulekeleleka ukuthi are there any things that needs to be done before we tie this?
Yes.
So that we don't do this and then we find ourselves kwizinto ezinzima kakhulu kunalokho ebesikukho. Uyayibona lento le, ngoba kunabanye bahamba nezibopho ezinzima emafamilini akuba abangazazi ukuthi zinjani, ukuthi kanti once mina hambe nayo hlola nayo bheka, niyakwazi ukuthi nitshela ukuthi no, yebo niyathandana and yebo kufanele nishade, kodwa mina ngashada ningakalungisi lokho, kuyohamba kube yini isibopho esibhlungu, kube umthwalo onzima kunina. Hambani nilungise 1 2 3 qala ukuze kuzokwazi ukuthi kulunge ezinye izinto.
Yeah. No, I think you've answered that beautiful, baby. Can the lobola process be done online? I live in South Korea and dating a man here. My family is in SA. Certain conversation can begin online, but it is important because finally kube the physical meeting, because the rituals cannot be facilitated. Angeke bantu uMkhwenyana amkelwe ngembuzi online. Uthi hayi makhosi amahle. No, or the lobola process, but I'm sure the process is the whole thing, including uMakoti, uMkhwenyana. So you can begin the conversation, but begin the conversation so that when he comes to South Africa, when your partner, I'm assuming the partner is South African, it's a he, but when your partner comes to South Africa, that a bulk of the rituals can be performed all at once. And it could be something that also gets informed to the ancestors in advance. This is going to begin. Please note, Uguti, this is the dynamic and this is the world we live in. Those is not impossible, but certain things, online.
Yokuthwasa simangamisasela ngoba leyo ilona ngoba in terms of ukulona on izinto online, I like muthi kufanele kubikwe kuqala. Into ebalekile ukuthi ngoba mesenza njengoba besishilo ukuthi asenzeli thina abaphilayo kuphela, kodwa izukuthi nalabo abantu abadala sebadlula labe sithi sifuna ukubakhela lo muzi nabo sibazise ukuthi ngoba isimo abantu abadala sikanje, besicela ukuthi senze lokhu ngendlela ekanje, ngabe niyazivumela yini? And if ever kuyakhonakala singayithatha siyiphushe into lona ukuthi asike sihambe futhi la ekhaya siyoyihlola ukuthi bayavuma yini abala ekhaya. Ukuyibona, because kukhona okunye sithi ay mhlambe mesingaphahla and then bese siyayenza, but we haven't received i-answer ukuthi bathina abantu abadala. Mara mengabe niphahlile kwaza i-answer ukuthi no, fine, then it's okay. But into ebalekile ukuthi ayike kubikelwe abantu abadala. Yebo singakhuluma nabaphilayo bese sibacela ukuthi cela niyophahla, niphahla bogogo nabomkhulu ukuthi nibazise ukuthi nesimo sikanje ingakho senza kanje nakanje. ngiyebo kodwa yebo ukucaca ekugcineni kuyofanele ukuthi kuze kuhanjwe abanye bahafike banyathela amabali ngiyabo
eventually there would have to be some sort of coming together into one space or into a physical space. Okay, I think that's it for today. You want to answer another question?
You
Yo, Mkhulu has energy. When I say my energy is dropping. I think this you like. Definition of inkomo mama is inkomo global. Hey, inkomo mama.
Thokoza Gogo. Umbuzo omuhle. Umbuzo omuhle and inkomo kaMama kuyinkomo zonke. Ithi mhlambe ngiyenze ekamama nekababa. Or siyenze yona le singalibele sihlanganisa. Inkomo kaMama kuyinkomo zokulobola. Kuyinkomo ngokomthetho ebuzwa ukuthi ngabe lo mntwana wala ekhaya umefika ekokota kwena ntombazane uyificile na leyo nkomo kaMama bibisasekhona na noma mengabe kuyalotsholwa kuthiwa kulotsholwa itshitshi laba abahlolwayo bazohlola bese kubuzwe ugogo bemhlola ukuthi cha gogo isekhona yini inkomo kaMama lapho uyabo then ke inkomo kaMama bokuyisi into ukuthi ngabe useyitshitshi na lo muntu iyona into kuyinkomo kaMama kodwa kuphinde kuhambe kuthiwa ubutshitshi bentombi kwezinye indawo like I would say elokushini ubutshitshi bentomba abusi lutho olutheni kangako kodwa ngabe impatho yalengane undingasithebeni noma umuntu oziphethe ukuthi yebo noma sekwahamba kwagqobhozwa kodwa ngabe impatho yakhe iyabonisa ukuthi ngabe umama ingaphuma inkomo yakhe because that is the appreciation yomzali omkhulisile ukuthi si appreciate yayikhishwa ukuthi sibonga umama ohambe wasithwalela lengane isibelethe sihambe sathwala ngisho neqolo elahamba lamthwala sithi ngale nkomo le sibonga wena mama ukuthi umkhulisile umntwana ngisho nanenhlonipho ukuthi nakho namhlanje sesithi inhlonipho yakhe iyadleka mama siyabonga ngale nkomo yebo singahamba sikhulume izinto ngoba ngesinye isikhathi sinokuba yikho bengithi mesikhuluma ngabakhongi ubuciko bomlomo yilapho sebahamba bufike kube iqhude manekiniki ukuthi cha abanye bazoyikhulumela kanje abanye bayikhulumele kanje kodwa yebo incazelo yakho kwakuthi siyitholile na inkomo kaMama mesingena lapha mengabe sekuye kwangena lo oshadayo yena ke oseke wangena yayiba kanjalo ke kodwa manje sesiyimisa ngokuthi isimo sesiqu somuntu ngendlela ayiphethe ngakhona and the appreciation ukuthi ke ngize mina ngithi lo muntu ngifuna ukumenza umfazi kusho ukuthi ngiyabona isimilo sakhe uyabo mengibona isimilo sakhe fanele ngiyobonga laba bamkhulisa ukuthi ngiyabonga ngalokho kuncanyane engikuphethe esandleni ukuthi namkhulisa namhlanje sengakwazi ukuthi ngimenze nami umfazi oyohamba eyokhulisa izwe lakithi ikhaya lakithi la ngizalwa khona ikhaya lomkhulu nami liyothola ukukhula ngenxa yokuthi nina nakhulisa yiyo inkomo kaMama le.
And also I think people need to understand, you know, when they say lobola is expensive, because then we didn't have money, we exchanged in the things that were of value, including cows. So now right now a cow's about 10-15 grand. So you can't say nkomo kaMama, nkomo kaGogo, nkomo kaBani, then you are counting that and then the lobola gets you 100,000 rands. Some people even charge $1 million of a lobola. So it's those, when we spoke about nkomo, that's the language we used for the monetary exchange or the transaction of a lobola. But it's now we meant a token of physical appreciation. So it doesn't have to be the 15,000 rand nkomo kaMama because unesmilo. But what Mkhulu was explaining so beautifully, deeply in Zulu was that it was taken when one is found to be a virgin, but it's not necessarily about physical virginity, but is about how one carries themselves, that they then honor the mother, the womb that carried them. But it's very important for people to note that when we speak about cows, it's also tokens of appreciation. Don't sit and make note, oh, there's this cow, because that's what people do when they want to, to escalate or put more money on put the price high of the lobola, because it's money is the last part that should be in the lobola negotiation. First of all, it's about who are these, who are we, introduce each other, start the conversation going. But yeah, and you look much more alert. I'm feeling.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and we still have dessert to eat.
Yeah,
So
siyabonga kakhulu ngesikhathi senu and nangesupport enisinika yona mihla namalanga. Sizofaka itopic during the week ekuzokwazi ukuthi kukhulunywe ngayo, or also you guys can suggest ukuthi itopic iba yini, or we can even suggest ukuthi mhlambe ngelinye ilanga kuba just nje question and answers, but question and then we
maybe
answer
that's
question
what we should do,
answer and question
session,
and then we answer kumanye ama sessions, so that we keep this alive and we keep this going, ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi sikhule, sikwazi ukuthi sonke silekelelane. Kodwa siyabonga futhi siyanithanda kakhulu nathi nibe nobusuku obuhle.
Yeah, but next week we're not on. Yeah. Next week we're not on. We've got Mkhulu next week. Oh, we love you, Sibu. He's been there throughout.
Love you guys.
We love you. So next week we're not on. We will see you first week of October.
Oh, yes.
And we will do a Q&A where we answer any question that you might have, because we never get to these questions. There's so many of them. Yeah. But it's a Q&A. But next week, don't expect us, because Mkhulu that we're doing, so we won't be live. But thank you so much. We love you. Thank you, Mkhulu Tebo. We love you, Malahafa. We love you. We see you. Dubisang, we see you. Dubi, we see you. This is family. So thank you to the family that has come on board. Love you very much. I love you.
Bye-bye. Love you more.